did your mom react to getting a little shout out on Dynamite? Give
She
Ruthie a
just,
little bit of love.
she just, she did the same thing I would do. She goes, "Do I get paid for that? For my name being mentioned?" I was like, "All right, ma."
Okay, so looking at everything with AEW, let's talk about the day that you got signed. Because you debuted and the internet went nuts. Like the internet was so behind you. Do you think that that had anything to do outside of your performance that night for Tony Khan to say, hey, we have to have this guy on our
I,
roster?
I think it was 50-50.
Yeah.
I really do think it was 50-50 because I never seen that before.
Crazy.
And it blew my mind that it was for me. And I was like, come on, I've been doing this. Again, I'm humble, but it still was like, what? I just did what I love to do. You know what I mean? So,
It's
but
funny to see how
it hit me hard. It hit me hard when
yeah.
I sat down and thought about everything. I was like, okay, this is crazy.
The wrestling community can be so supportive. And when they really rally behind someone like yourself, who they know has been grinding for so long, it's really cool to see, like wrestling and Twitter in particular gets such a bad rap sometimes. But when they come together for the betterment of something, it's incredible to see that power and what they're able to do for somebody. But yeah, just looking on the outside of that, of them rallying for you, then you get signed. What was that phone call like with Tony Khan?
Well, actually, I talked to Christopher Daniels
Oh, okay.
first. Yeah. So me and Chris talked, and I've known Chris forever from the Indies. So, you know what I mean? They offered me the deal, and then I listened to the other side. I guess we could call them. I
Oh, well,
listened to the other side.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know, I was just weighing options. But then my mother was the final nail. She goes, "You won't be happy over there, trust me."
Why
And I
did
said,
why
"Okay."
did you say that?
Hmm?
Why do you
Why
think
did
she
she?
said that?
Oh, because who knows me better than my mother? You know what I mean? She knows that people are gonna maybe not get underneath my skin, but people will. Uh, she, I'm trying not to bury anybody.
Yeah,
The
I know. It's fine.
it's hard, but I'll tell you, the bottom line with the whole thing is, I know more people at AEW, and I know there's a lot more heart there, like
Sure.
people who love the business, who were in it, who didn't come from somewhere else
Mhm.
and then become a wrestler. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, I think for her, that's what she thought. She was like, I'm gonna be with people who love it just as much as I do.
I like that your mom's like privy to the inside of the business like that to know
Oh, I
like
gotta tell her. I gotta tell her things. If I don't tell her stuff, I'll keep it inside, and next thing you
yeah.
know, I'll blow up at the wrong time. Mox can tell you a couple stories about me blowing up.
I'm sure he can. Um, so how did like you get signed and then what happened with that conversation with WWE because they reached out to you right after, right?
Yeah. No, I just emailed them.
Oh,
There was no
okay.
guidance. There was no deep, movie scene thing, and they're evil or whatever. It was just I emailed
Yeah.
them. They said nothing. Oh no, they sent me back whatever they had to send me, and then that was it.
Oh, so it's pretty uneventful.
Yeah, no, there was no big scary evil empire saying they're gonna get me and Tony Khan and AEW. There was nothing like that. It was
Yeah.
just it was business. It was
Yeah,
business.
of course. And as a businessman, you do have to listen to both sides and just see what the best option is and kind of weigh all that out. Again, as we said, you've been doing this 20 years. You want to make sure you're getting the best deal and going to be happy
Yeah.
in the long run with whatever decision you decide to do. And obviously, that was landing in AEW. But you did have a tryout with AEW before, right? Or with WWE before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I thought it was fine. It was whatever. I was just
Was
me. I
was
was just me.
this
Go
Did
ahead.
this go down at the PC or did this happen like old school, like you get in the ring and put on a
Oh
match
no.
and like Undertaker and Randy Orton and all those guys are standing around?
Oh no. This was the PC.
Okay,
This is the PC. Jimmy Jacobs hooked me up with it.
got it.
And me and Jimmy have been friends for years. And he was just like, "Hey, you want to try out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's go." And I was just me because I went into that tryout because to me that tryout was really more for the Mae Young Classic because it was the biggest class they had for females. or
Yes.
try. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I get it. This is for the females. I'm just gonna go in and have fun, and that's the way I looked at it. So I said a couple of things that made certain
What did you
certain.
say? Give us the dirt.
Well,
You can give us the
they,
PC version if you want.
oh well, I'll give you the one I liked the most.
Okay.
Was they had someone filming there, and Drake Younger grabbed me out of nowhere, and he was like, "King, tell him how hard this drill is." It was some dumb drill, and I was like, "Yeah, it was hard." And I've had people shoot at me, try to stab me with knives, and God, I hate this drill more than that. Put the camera down. Everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts because I said guns and knives,
Yeah.
and I went, "What? It's what? Okay, it's hard. What do you want me to say?" And I remember I was doing the promo class, and I said, "Where I come from, they believe in Tupac more than Santa Claus." And I saw two writers just have this like confused look on their face when I said it. And I went, "Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Let me
Because
just
you,
go have my match, and I'll leave."
what a lame reason. I mean, come on,
No,
throw
I
the
don't
guy
know
a
if that was.
bone.
I don't know if that was the reason, but I saw their faces, and they just kind of went, you know what I mean, cocked their head like a confused dog sideways, and I was like, okay.
When you kind
And
of feel that energy in the room change and you're like, oh, this is maybe not going the way that I thought
yeah,
that it was going to go.
well, honestly, I went in there like, well, fuck it. That was my thinking when I went in there. I was like, what are they gonna do? Say no? I have another. I have. What was I thinking in my head? I was like, oh yeah, I got 3 bookings that weekend anyway.
It's interesting because I feel like at a certain point, you either I feel like everyone always does their best work when they're in the it mode. That's always
Yeah.
when
Oh
people
yeah,
do their
yeah, yeah.
best, 100%. But I do feel like at a certain point, when there starts to become more pressure, you've been doing it for a long time and you maybe want to have that moment of that breakout success. Did you ever feel that of like, oh, I need to make this connect and work right away? Or I'm going to have to, I know you did attempt to, you were thinking about retiring at one point,
Yeah,
but
yeah. That. Well, I'll tell you the retirement story. I saw something on the other side that bothered me so much that I was drinking a lot of whiskey that night,
mhm.
and I saw something on the TV that chapped my ass a little bit, as you can say. And I could be a violent person, so I was breaking things in my house after a couple of drinks. And I said I never wanted to feel like that again, so I think it's time for me to go if something crazy doesn't happen. And then something crazy did happen. My brother, had a kid, and now I'm an uncle. And my brother said, "How can I tell my son not to quit on anything when his uncle did?" And I was
Oh,
like, that's what my brother said to me, and I was giving him the finger the whole way. He said it to me right when I was leaving, and I was just giving him the finger the whole time leaving. But that's why I stayed. And then I guess I felt the pressure was because of with Cody. Cody was the pressure moment.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And then I just said to myself right before I went out. That's when I said to myself, "F- it." So you're right. The thing is there, but
Thank God
it
it
was
kicked
it
in
was
though,
right
right?
before. Yeah,
Were
it
you
was right
nervous that
before.
you, ugh.
Yeah, it was right before. Right when the guy at Gorilla, my little homeboy at Gorilla that knows that I don't ever want pyro. That's my man. He said go, and I went F- it, and just started just talking. And
Thank
then
God.
they had to stop me. They had to stop me because I called him Cody Rhodes like 3 times.
When you couldn't say it. Now you can at
Yeah,
least.
now I can. And then I remember I'm all the way in Eddie Kingston mode, which is like F- the world, everybody's against me, let's do it. So me at 17. And then Tony Khan walks out like, all right, cut. And I'm like, what the F- do you want? And I went, oh hey Tony, what's up? What do I have to do? So
It, thank God that it kicked in though of getting a case of the it because if you hadn't, who knows what would have happened. How did it go during the day? Because you and Cody must not have crossed paths prior to that, right?
oh well, we met each other on the Indies when he first got
Oh,
when he
you
got
did.
let
Okay.
go.
Oh,
But
got
never but never worked with each other, you know what I mean? And most of it was, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? When I'm on the Indies, I'm not at that time. I've matured, I like to think. But at that time, I wasn't the nicest person. I was the grumpy older guy, just trying to make sure I get my money before I even go to the ring. Kind
Fair
of, you
enough.
know what I mean? Old school vet kind of thing, you know? So I
Yeah.
never talked to Cody. But it was basically just that day where I really got to know him and see what was going to go down, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, I basically told him, I said, I'm going to put pressure on you. I'm going to hit you, but you're going to be able to go home to your wife. That's the way I was taught. So
Minimal facial issues.
Hi guys! To stay in on the know on all things oral sessions, please like, subscribe, share, pass off the word to your mother, your father, a friend, a grandfather, a grandmother, somebody at the grocery store, whoever you want. Keep spreading the good word. Please help to support your girl and subscribe. Just hit the button. Just hit the button and subscribe to Oral Sessions.